Dr. Farah Ina Yusuf, Department of Curriculum and Instructional Technology, Faculty of Education, University Malaya, together with the leader. Dr. Farah has wide experiences in the area of teaching, including education technology, ICT, instructional designs and technology, science and development of instructional materials. Moreover, she is an expert in education, instructional designs, technologies, and graphic creation. Instructional technologies. Then, Associate Professor Dr. Farah indicated as a presentation intelligence on online learning give a warm welcome to Associate Professor Dr. Farah.
Thank you so much, Ms. Charapan Siliwat, and thank you so much to all the moderators and chairperson of the section, and also to the audience who are very supportive. I see a lot of emojis, positive vibes, and also a lot of interactive discussions for the previous presentations. May I get your permission to share my screen?
Yes.
This is happening right now as I'm speaking. Universiti Malaya already transitioned from the full online teaching and learning to hybrid learning. Okay. Just for an introduction of what is happening, Malaysia have imposed the Movement Control Order or MCO beginning in the year 2020. Because of the MCO, all schools and universities have to close, right? And this has made a trend for fully online teaching and learning. And I'm sure it also is happening in your countries as well. However, recently in October 2021, the government announced that we are going to move from the pandemic situation to the endemic situation. And as a result, schools and universities are opening again physically. Okay. So in Universiti Malaya, the top management have made the official decision for us to transition from fully online to hybrid learning in September 14, 2021. And we have to implement the hybrid learning in 18th of October 2021. So it's about 1 month plus for us to get ready for the hybrid learning. So what we learned is that there will be two modes of learning. Excuse me. So some classes, large classes, for example, university journey courses, mobility related, and also international students will still take the online classes. Okay? They are not required to come back physically to join classes in university or on campus. But the rest of the students who are already in Malaysia, they will have to come to class physically, but at the same time, they have to involve in hybrid learning. I'll mention why. Just a minute. Okay, so actually there were some concerns when we have to transition again. We already in the beginning, we are already conducted blended learning, okay, and then moved to fully online teaching and learning during the MCO, and now we have to come back on campus and have to do physical meetings with the students. Okay? So the students and academics already comfortable with online teaching and learning. And our academics already gained confidence and they have been so creative. They have explored a lot of online tools in teaching and learning. In fact, we can confidently say that majority of our lecturers have already conducted online assessments and alternative assessment. It can be said that they are already new norm in our university. Okay, so we have picked up all these skills, online teaching and learning skills. We also have conducted even any
Kita tengok
community-based
mak dan
and
ayah
service
ada.
learning approaches
Ada.
conducted online.
Selamat
As you
tengah
can
hari
see
mak, selamat
on your
tengah hari
screen now,
ayah.
these are
Jangan masak
examples
ya,
of how
kita
students
sediakan makanan.
interact with the
Terima kasih,
community,
join sama-sama.
disabled community. So
Dengan main
everything was
sama-sama dengan
conducted
adik-adik ya.
online when previously
Okey,
they
terima
have
kasih.
to
Saya
visit the
appreciate sangat-sangat
villages, they have to go out
ibu dan
to the
ayah yang
community
sama-sama join, sama-sama
physically.
support
So
program
when everybody has settled down with full
belajar
online
hukum
teaching and
negara
learning,
melalui scam dengan
people are
adik-adik kita
asking,
hari ini.
how do we go
Dari
back
jauh, dari Kedah
to
dan
physical teaching and learning? Okay?
sini Sky,
So
itu ada
some of other
COVID-19, lepas
concerns
tu
is
kita
that
ada online
while we
classes.
have to
Dengan
be
online
on
ni kita dah
campus,
boleh buat program bersama-sama
there are
kan.
some
Ada
standard
rezeki,
operating
nanti kakak
procedures that we
Purul,
have
kakak
to
Akira dan
strictly
saya
follow.
pun boleh datang ke
Okay, so
Kedah.
we got the instructions
Jumpa
that
adik-adik
the
di
number of
program kan.
students attending the
Okey,
physical
saya nak
face-to-face
cerita
classes
sikit
shall
cerita
not exceed 50%
tentang
of the room capacity, meaning that
kita.
if we have an
Okey,
auditorium which
semua.
can
Kita lihat
fill
gambar ni.
100
Ini gambar
students,
apa?
now only 50 students can enter the room and take the
Rumah.
classes
Rumah
physically
saya,
with the
rumah
instructors.
awak, rumah kita
So
semua kan.
students and lecturers
Semua ada
also,
rumah. Lepas tu
only
dalam rumah
those who
kita
have
ada apa?
completed 2
Ada
doses of
siapa dalam
vaccine
rumah
can
kita?
come to the university. If not, they have to take it online. So there's also health-related concerns. People were asking questions, for example, how safe it is for the students and the staff to come back to
Ada
campus.
tak
Okay, so
nenek?
these are concerns
Satu,
that mingling in
nenek.
our minds when we were told that we
Lepas
need
tu
to do
rumah sebelah mungkin
physical
ada
class. Okay, so
aunty,
luckily
rumah
our
sebelah lagi
top
ada
management in the University
kawan, ada
Malaya
jiran kan. Ini
has
rumah kita.
already kind of
Kalau kita tengok
communicated the university's vision to have this physical learning and
dalam
also hybrid learning
negara kita
earlier.
ni sebenarnya
Okay,
ada
so
banyak
they have
rumah.
conducted
Kalau
top-down
kita tengok
communication
dalam
through
peta
a
ni,
lot of
adik-adik
channels.
punya rumah
There
dekat
were
mana?
meetings with the deans and so on, and I will
Ada
explain
tak nampak
later
dalam
in
map
detail.
tu? Dalam
So the communication also comes with the policies in place.
mana rumah dia ada
Okay,
dalam
for
map?
example, the university management has already
Kedah,
established the
okey. Siapa
definition of
siapa
hybrid learning,
nampak Kedah
and
warna
we
apa
have
dalam map tu?
vaccination policy and also online exam policy. These policies are already
Merah
established,
dia,
so
merah.
when we have to
Pink,
teach
merah
online and
pink
also
dia.
in hybrid
Okey.
learning, we are
So
not
adik-adik,
starting from
adik-adik
scratch.
duduk
Okay?
dekat yang mana?
So in
Pink
terms
kan?
of lecturers'
Kedah.
preparation,
Okey.
which my center is responsible
Hijau.
for, we have done some sharing of practices, okay, and we have launched what we call hashtag Back to Campus again. Okay, previously we had Teach Online campaign. Now we say Back to Campus again. Okay, and also we have also YouTube playlist. In terms of infrastructure preparation, there were some people who are involved in several task forces to ensure smooth transition from fully online to hybrid learning. There was also site visits to the classrooms to see what are the things needs to be installed before the class starts.
Dekat-dekat kan?
Okay, and this is very important, how ready our students are to come back to campus. So there's a lot of management-related issues that our deans, our directors, and the centers and faculties have to make decision. For example, they have to rearrange the scheduling of the classes. Maybe they also have to do some rotation for some of the classes. They also have to change the course format. Okay? Now, in relation to the top-down communication, as I mentioned before, the universities has already communicated the intention to have physical classes again through various meetings, okay, with the deans and directors. So mentally, we are kind of prepared and we know what is ahead of us and what are the expectations. Announcements also were made via the university's mailing list, telling the lecturers and the students as well as the non-academic staff to be ready for the next semester. Remember again, we only have 1 month plus to get everything ready. Okay, so communication was so often at that time, and people keep on supporting each other. Okay. And in terms of campus operation, our registrar, who are in charge of the non-academic staff, have made announcement or if I can say, like policy
betul.
to
Pandai
work
dia
on
punya
site
tip.
policy.
Okey,
So
jadi
previously
yang
during the
keenam adalah
pandemic era,
nampak jari
pandemic
kita.
time,
Iaitu
we
itu
were
adalah
allowed to
lambang
be work from home.
rumah
We have the
besar
work from home
kita.
policy, but
Okey,
now we have to
kalau rumah
change to
kita
work on
besar
site
macam negara
policy.
Malaysia,
Okay,
satu Malaysia ni rumah
so
kita
this is
besar, apa
example of the
maksudnya?
announcement made.
Keluarga kita
Okay,
yang mana?
secondly, we also need to tell people what hybrid learning means
The
from
whole
Universiti
of
Malaya's
Malaysia is
perspective.
our family.
Okay, as
Seluruh
Dr.
Malaysia ni adalah
Boraslam have
keluarga
already
kita.
shared with us previously,
Jadi saya
according to the
dengan
slow and
Boy
C
sebenarnya
definition, hybrid
keluarga.
learning to them is the
Saya dengan adik
percentage
Dewi
of
keluarga.
course content that is converted
Saya dengan
online,
adik
if I'm not mistaken,
Bakshan
right? But this
dengan adik
definition does
Bakshan.
not suit us in Universiti
Boleh
Malaya.
sama-sama
We have
keluarga.
our own
Adik
contextual
Sanata,
setting that we
adik
need to take care of.
Tanya, dan
Just to
apa
let you
lagi
know
dalam
that at the moment,
online
as we are
studies, kita
speaking, there's
semua
a lot of
sebagai
development
keluarga besar,
is taking place. For example, we
Malaysia.
are offering
Kan?
our online
Jadi
distance
macam mana
learning
kita
programs
patut
as
layan ini
well as
keluarga
the
kita?
remote
Kalau
learning
kita dekat
program.
rumah dengan
There
ahli
was
keluarga
hybrid
yang
learning.
lain,
So there's a lot
macam
of
mana
things
kita
happening right now.
cakap dengan
We're also
dia,
working on
kawan dia, macam mana
MOOC
kita buat
courses
macam mana?
and micro credential courses. So we need a definition that
Sayang, macam
really
kita buat.
speak to what we need. Okay, so this is the hybrid learning definition from our university. I can share with you. So hybrid learning
mak minta
for
tolong.
University Malaya refers to the
Tolong cuci
combination of
pinggan, adik
teaching
tolong
and
tak?
learning which are conducted physically at the learning location and
Tolong.
online
Kalau
with the
kalau
teaching
adik
staff.
demam,
It happens in
kakak
real
tolong tak
time
ambilkan
synchronously,
ubat
and in hybrid
fluor
learning
atau minum
setting, the
air, ada
teaching
tak?
staff will need to facilitate both
Ada,
groups
itu dalam rumah
simultaneously.
kita. Tapi kalau
Okay,
kita
it's
ada
kind
rumah
of
yang
lengthy, so
besar,
texty,
rumah
so I'll
yang
try to make
besar
it
satu
visual
besar dan
for
dia
you.
kita. Jadi,
So if you're looking at
keluarga
this
kita yang jauh pun
definition,
kita kena
you will see that there
ingat.
are two groups of
Jauh pun kita
students.
kena
Okay, so
tolong.
one group of
Anak
students
kita
will
kalau
be
kita
taking
berbagi,
class
tak?
physically on site or maybe on
Kan?
campus. Okay,
Boleh nampak
so they are the
mana
students who
kawan-kawan
will usually
family,
local
big
students
family
who
kita.
are already in
Adik-adik
Malaysia.
dekat sekolah,
Okay, for
ada
students who
ramai
have
kawan-kawan kan.
either maybe
Seronok tak
they have
pergi
not
sekolah?
have the full vaccine
Dah dapat
yet,
pergi sekolah belum
or they are
cikgu?
international students who
Ibu
cannot
bapa
come
anak-anak dah dapat
back
pergi
to
sekolah ke?
Malaysia, they can be online
Dah dapat
students. So
kumpulan ni,
class
kumpulan ni
meeting
dah
will
dapat
be
pergi kan?
conducted as
Saya
previously
pun ada,
done,
saya
which
pun
is
ada
through
anak tahun
Zoom, Google
3
Meet, and
dengan tahun
Microsoft
4.
Teams.
Seronok dapat pergi
Okay,
sekolah.
one
Betul
more
tak?
and most
Jadi
important
beramai
person
kawan-kawan.
to be
Sebenarnya
coordinating
untuk
both group of
personalised
students
semua
is actually the instructor or the lecturer. Okay,
kawan-kawan kita dekat
so
sekolah tu
this lecturer
sebenarnya
have to be
keluarga
on
besar
site
kita.
physically
Kita pun
with the
macam mana
on-site
kita layani
students.
keluarga kita
So you
di
can
rumah
imagine
dan
then
kena layani
there's a
keluarga
group of
kita yang
students with the
besar,
instructor, and also
sekolah dan
this
nanti
instructor
akan dia dapat
have to
pergi
take care of the
kerja
online
dan
students.
kerja,
Okay,
dan ada keluarga
so
sendiri.
all of these
Keluarga kita kena lagi
communication
besar,
or
lagi
content
ramai,
delivery
lagi
has to
ramai
be
orang tua,
conducted
kawan, lagi
during the
ramai ahli
official
keluarga
class
besar kita
schedule. For
seluruh
example,
Malaysia.
if in
Kan?
the class schedule it
Okey.
says that you have to conduct
Yang
class
seterusnya,
Monday 27th of September at
okey.
between 10 to
Waktu
11
pertumbuhan
a.m.
negara
So
Malaysia
regardless of
itu,
whatever time
ah,
differences in other countries,
Perdana Menteri pada
the
waktu dulu
students have to be
buat
there either
rukun negara
physically
Malaysia.
or
Macam
online.
mana kita
Okay, this
nak
is what
layan
we want
kawan-kawan
and
ahli
what we
keluarga kita yang
define hybrid
besar
learning
seluruh
is.
Malaysia ni,
So ideally, this is how the classroom should
disebut
look
dalam
like.
rukun
Okay,
negara
so you
Malaysia.
have
Adik-adik masa
several
perhimpunan kan?
physical on-site
Perhimpunan
students,
ada kat
and
sekolah.
there are also
Mungkin
online
COVID-19
students
tak
in the
ada.
same class
Ada yang
synchronously,
tak sempat
and there's
join perhimpunan kan?
on-site
Masa
instructor.
perhimpunan, ada tak kakak pengawas
Okay,
batik
so
keran dekat
we
tempat
need to
sebut
get
abang
buy-in from our
pengawas batik
lecturers.
keran?
Okay, why do we
Betul
want to
kami.
come back to physical
Ada tak?
teaching and learning when everybody has already been
Ada kan?
confident, comfortable with
Ada. So,
online learning?
okey,
Do
boleh
we
tak kita
have
cuba?
questions from
Ini
the lecturers?
semua
Do we have to throw
adalah
away whatever we
prinsip-prinsip
have
rukun
learned and
negara
whatever
yang
practices that we have kind of done
menjaga
on all the
kita
online
macam mana
teaching and
kita
learning
nak
tools
jaga
that they have
keluarga besar.
mastered and so on?
Okey?
So we have to
Kalau
tell the
ada yang
lecturers
menolong,
there are some
menghormati, itu
organizational
semua
benefits. For
cari-cari.
example,
Tapi prinsipnya
it gives the
mereka
opportunities for
minum.
working students
Okey?
and also students
Jadi
with
yang
certain
pertama
conditions,
sampai yang
for
ketiga
example,
dia dapat
students who
tadi
are
kan
ill and
daripada
abroad, to
Tuhan,
participate
pekerjaan kepada dalam
synchronously. So you can
negara
reach out
kan,
to as
perhimpunan
many students
pelbagai.
as you
Adik-adik dah
can.
buat tadi
Okay,
kan
this is also
aktiviti.
efficient. There is no need
Lepas tu
for the
nanti
lecturers to
adik-adik ada buat
teach the
kedawalan
course twice.
undang-undang yang ada
Okay,
parlimen
and
dengan yang
also they can
kotak-kotak tu
avoid travel
dan
to
juga
external
ketupanan
campus
dan
branch.
kesusilaan.
Okay, In terms of pedagogical benefits, they are going to be richer learning experiences for our students. Students can meet and also exchange ideas with larger number of colleagues. Okay, so hybrid learning is one of the things that we really recommend the lecturers to do. Remember I said about some of the policies that we already established before the opening of the semester. So one of it is the vaccination policy. This has been endorsed by University Board of Directors on 12th of August 2021. So in this vaccination policy, they only emphasize on the needs for clinical undergraduate and postgraduate students who are enrolled in 3 clinical academic programs to get vaccinated prior to the start of their clinical activities. So this is to safeguard the health and safety of the patients that they are going to treat. Okay? So students from Faculty of Medicine, Dentistry and Pharmacy really have to get themselves fully vaccinated before they can have their clinical classes done. Okay, in terms of teacher preparation, we have conducted a forum and invited some speakers to share about how they teach in a hybrid learning environment. Luckily, we have Faculty of Engineering, a small department in the faculty, who had experience conducting hybrid learning during the pandemic because their courses is much more lab based, laboratory based or clinical based, which means that they need the students to come and do some activities physically. So we invited them to share their experiences, how they do and conduct their hybrid learning. So we found out there are 4 main aspects that need to be taken into consideration when we want to implement hybrid learning. So those are, number 1, from the management perspective, as I mentioned just now, the scheduling, the communication to academics and also to the students, as well as the policies for work from home versus work on site. Okay. There's also pedagogical perspectives that need to be taken care of. We need to tell the lecturers how to set up the equipment and how to deliver it and what to do after that teaching and learning happened. Okay. We also talk about some of the technical setups and also some of the lessons learned. So during the forum, one of our colleagues, one of the speakers, were on site in doing the demonstration with the existing settings so that people can know what is working and what's not working. To be honest, it's not working very well at that time. Okay, so some of the equipment don't really function as we intended to do, but it was a very good learning experiences as our lecturers are able to learn on demand or really on that time what needs to be done in case of this technical errors happen. About the teacher preparation, the teacher here refers to the lecturers. We have 2 campaigns. Okay? During the pandemic, when everything is online, we launched the Teach Online campaign. Okay, so we have a lot of guidelines, resources, everything is online. We have our YouTube channel as well to help lecturers teach online. Okay. Now that we switch back to physical and also hybrid learning, we have to change the tagline or the campaign a bit to Back to Campus. Okay? So if you search or Google Back to Campus, you will find a lot of resources that may be one of your interests to refer to. Okay, so the switch from Teach Online to Back Back to Campus, not that difficult because people already know how to teach online. They just now need to relearn how to teach in
itu
physical
nanya
setting
rukun
again.
negara
Okay,
dalam
so
kita dengar
there's a lot of
sekarang
resources for
dengan
them.
sekarang masih
In
kita
terms
bukan yang
of
sama.
guidelines, we
Maka
already
kami
launched the UM
rakyat
Online Teaching and
Malaysia
Learning Guideline,
berkesimpulan
especially to help
akan
the lecturers
menumpukan
who needs to
seluruh
know
tenaga dan
about the
usaha kami
pedagogical
untuk
approaches
mencapai cita-cita
needed to be
tersebut
done for
berdasarkan
online
atas
learning. Okay,
prinsip
I
yang
have to say
berukur
that this online teaching and learning
kepercayaan
guideline
kepada
has
Tuhan,
received
kesetiaan kepada
quite
raja dan negara,
quite
keluhuran
warm
perlembagaan,
acceptance,
kedaulatan
okay, not just
undang-undang,
from our
kesopanan
university
dan
but also
kesusilaan.
colleagues from
Itu
other
nanti
universities
dekat
in
sekolah
Malaysia as
ada
well as
akan
other
kalau
countries
ada
as well.
perhimpunan sekarang
We
mungkin
got
belum
a
boleh ya
request
ibu
for
bapa
them
belum boleh
to
belum
use
boleh ada perhimpunan
the
dan
guideline, which
mereka
is we are very
masih
happy
belum
to share with
sesuai
them. This is all online. You can get
perhimpunan.
the version
Mungkin
if
ada
you
yang
just type the
belum
name.
dapat
Okay.
pengalaman
So
pasti viral
the
kalau
things that we
kemudian
are
bersama dengan sekolah.
giving attention to
Berharap
is that the
lepas
need to be
hari ini
student
ada
friendly
lebih
instructor. Okay,
kenal
so all
dengan
the courses
hukum negara
need
Malaysia
to
dan juga
really
sekolah
think about the
ini
assessment
champion
again,
kat daerah yang
because we
maju.
had
Dah
concerns
tahu
from the
sekali
students
pasal
where the
negara
students
Malaysia.
feel so burdened as
Jadi,
hassle
saya
with
juga
a
nak
lot of
ucapkan
assignments
terima
online.
kasih kepada
Okay, so
semua
these are
ibu
the things
bapa
that
yang
we ask the lecturers to really
join
think
dan
about it.
memberi sokongan
And
kepada
we
adik-adik kita.
also introduce proctored
Terkankan
online examination
kita
tool
sebenarnya
and also platform and the
sampaikan
new
ilmu
exhibition hall
STEM,
sim.
sains, teknologi,
Apart from that, we also prepared YouTube channel. We have our own YouTube channel, EdTech Universiti Malaya. If you look at the right sidebar, you can see there is a video list of all the webinars that we have done to help lecturers being prepared to teach online. So there are aspects of course design and delivery, alternative assessments, online teaching and learning tools. These are all to help the lecturers be confident in switching to hybrid learning.
Terima kasih. Saya
Okay.
nak
About the implementation phase,
dulu
okay,
ni.
we started the implementation phase 18th of October 2021. So you can see that in computer lab setting is quite different from the auditorium setting. Okay, so we follow the SOP, make sure that students have the physical distances and wear masks and so on. And if you notice that there are physical students on site and also students online on screen, okay? These are our Deputy Vice Chancellor who visited the classroom just to make sure everything is okay and ready. So in classroom settings, okay, as I mentioned, it's only available to 50% of the room capacity. So our classroom are quite small, so students have to be in individual desks instead of being in clusters. However, for learning space setting like this one on the right side, you can see that the students can freely join the tables or break out from the main table. So it's much more comfortable for the students in the learning space setting. So learning from this experience, we now know what to do next in terms of continuous improvement, which is to really educate our staff about how to take care of the classroom settings physically. Okay, so now come some of the challenges of hybrid learning. I can divide it into two challenges. The first one is technical challenges and the second one is the pedagogical challenges. These are all from reflections and my observations as the director who oversees the implementation of hybrid learning, as well as lecturer myself. I'm also teaching, doing research and so on. So instructors need to be able and be comfortable operating various technologies. And in hybrid learning setting, it's quite challenging because we have to do all these operational of technology simultaneously. For example, I have to switch on my video camera, make sure online students already in my Microsoft Team classroom, and then my physical students are ready. So we are operating with, half of ourselves are online, half of ourselves are physical. So what is the case? It's interesting to me. Okay, there's a lot of preparation have to be done before class, okay? Especially the communication with the students. Okay, they need to know what need to do, what they need to do for the next semester, for the next week, and so on. Okay, we also found that we have problems with loss of visual and audible cues from online students especially. Okay, we have to maintain good quality of audio and video. So this is something that it requires some investment, especially in the having the right equipment. Okay, but we are still learning. Okay, and I hope also you are also learning from our experiences. So next time we are going to do this better. And also, okay, optimal video framing of an instructor. Once the instructor move from one side to another side, as we usually like to do as teachers, right? So the camera does not follow us. Okay, so the online students were left to the blank screen. Okay, so we need to get help from other students to help us move the cameras around. Or alternatively, some of our colleagues use the mobile phone. Okay, so they take the mobile phone and speak to the students and just bring the mobile devices with them wherever they go. So that's one, like I say, cheap way of doing things instead of buying and investing in high-tech technologies. Okay, in terms of pedagogical challenges, coordination is very important. Okay, as I mentioned just now, paying attention to both group of students so that they are not lacking in terms of learning. Okay, we have two group of students, but sometimes we forgot the online students especially. Okay, so we need to really coordinate and redesign our course purposefully for the hybrid learning teaching and
Hai
learning
semua.
approach. Okay,
Terima
there is also a
kasih.
challenge
Jumpa
in
lagi.
ensuring comparable learning
Thank you
experiences for
Jessica.
groups. Okay, so because of the internet connection
Thank
not
you so
really
much
stable and
Jessica.
so on, we found
Thank
ourselves
you
to
Karen.
be we need to be like slower pace when we talk because some
Lagu-lagu. Bye baby.
It looks like there is a technical problem happened. So
Jumpa
uh,
saja.
if
Tapi
there
apa
is
saja
any questions, you can post in the chat box.
tadi saya.
Yes, I think the internet connections from Professor Farah's side might be in the low bandwidth. So, okay, so well, we could take this time as a little break to
Coba jadi
leave a
ceritakan
questions
yang proses
for
perlindungan itu kayak
Professor
apa sih?
Farah's topics.
Pengalaman.
And also we have created the forums on our website
Kalau kita
auntpl.mahidol.ac.th
Iya,
under Professor Farah's topic chat or a discussion board for everyone that interested in Professor Farah's work to leave on the comments or any questions, and we will be answers all the questions afterward. So I've sent the links in the chat box now, so everyone please maybe check in or leave on the questions. And
can you tell them
yes,
that I
right now we have one question from um Len Xiu Ji Tolon. So, okay, so Professor
I'm
Farah.
back.
so sorry. Okay,
Okay,
so I'll be
so I'll be
talking to
talking to
myself.
myself. Yeah.
Don't worry. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, okay,
I
I
believe
believe
I'm
I'm
almost. I love
I
it
love it
here,
here,
right?
right?
Pedagogical
Pedagogical
challenges.
challenges.
yes,
Okay.
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 These examples
Examples
of
of
the
the
technical
technical
challenges
challenges. Yes,
that
it
we
is
face
when we do
online and
online and
hybrid
hybrid
learning.
learning.
Okay,
Okay,
so
so
uh, to
to
get
get
the
the
comparable
comparable
learning
learning
experiences,
experiences, we need to do we need to adjust the way we speak, especially. Yeah. So we found ourselves to have to be on slower pace when we are teaching. We repeat things, okay, or concepts repeatedly, and also sometimes we spend time fixing technical problems instead of focusing on the teaching and learning. Okay. However, I think we can do this. We can still engage the students, both online and offline students, together with this proposed model. During the instruction, we can have the physical students work with physical students in a group and ask them to present to the whole
Ada
class
model
later.
lain yang
So
buat, dia
in
tu
terms of
tulisannya
engagement, physical to physical students as well and online students, we can pair the online students and the other online students in a group, ask them to do some work and
Lepas tu
we
sekolah yang
ask them to
sediakan
present
dia,
to the whole
saya pun tak
class.
pasti
Or number
sama
two,
ke tak
we
sama
can
dengan
also
yang
pair the
program
online
yang mention
students
sekarang ni
with
lah.
the
Tapi
online
adalah yang
students
pihak sekolah sendiri
and
yang
then share
sediakan
whatever they have done
surat jemputan kepada
to
kami
the
ke
whole
ataupun
class,
izin macam tu.
quite similar to the
Macam
first one.
acknowledgement lah yang kita telah
And
bekerjasama
also
kan.
combine the
Nanti
physical
dengan
and
kami,
online
kami
students
boleh
in a
beri
group.
izin kepada pihak sekolah dan kepada
I had experience using the third one, which is I combine or I paired students from online and physical students to work on a small task. So they have to discuss the task and later come back to the whole group and present the solutions. So we are being a little bit creative. There are some additional reflections about what
kalau cikgu
happened
perlu, kami
during the
okey.
hybrid
Tapi
learning
kalau
in
cikgu
my
tak perlu, kami
university. In terms of
dah okey dah.
instructors,
Ini dah
we
okey
were
dah cikgu dah
happy
ni dah.
because we got immediate
Tapi
feedback from our
ini
students.
needed from your
I'm
side.
sure you
sebab
have this
cikgu nak
experience
tunjuk,
when you ask your students online,
paperwork kepada
some of them is just so quiet, no one is
tapi okey je nak
telling anything. When you ask questions suddenly,
kira-kira
they kind of lost. We don't know whether they are there or not. Okay, but having them with us physically is very meaningful. We can get immediate feedback. Thus, we can get active discussions going on because more attention can be given. However, as I mentioned, because of the movement, of the camera unable to capture our movement, so we have limitations in utilizing whiteboards, especially courses that need to have a lot of drawings. Okay, from the students' perspective, I can say that they were very excited to meet their instructors and peers physically after about more than a year just online. In fact, yesterday I just met my online students physically and I've been talking to them online for about 1 year, but when I meet physically, it's like I don't know them at all. I didn't recognize them, but it was a very meaningful experience. Okay, I was so excited as well. So the students, especially the first year students, were excited because they got the opportunity to experience campus life for the very first time. Okay, you can see at the pictures, some of them coming from many other states come to Universiti Malaya and get ready to begin the class. Okay, they are also more focused and less distractions than being online students. Okay, there's a lot of distractions at home. Can come from the siblings, parents asking them to do some things, or internet connection doesn't work, and so on. Okay, so but they were asking us to give more attention to on-site students. More attention needs to be given to online students because it is easily distracted to talk to the person in front of you instead of persons online. Okay? So just to wrap up, I think it's very important for a university that wanted to apply hybrid learning to get support from the top management. In our case, our Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic herself made an effort to visit sites meaning classrooms before and during the implementation of hybrid learning. So her presence, visiting the students and also academics, provide a sense of motivation to embark on this new journey for us. We also feels that we are part of big community where top management and also the ordinary normal students and academics can get together during this time. In terms of the technological limitations, I think we need to be very creative to improvise whatever tools available around us. For example, instead of relying on the hard technology, you can also use your mobile phones. Okay, and be creative. Try multiple devices. Maybe you can have your laptop with you, and then you can communicate through the mobile phone and maybe a tab also, this is something normal. Okay, continuous improvement still needed, and we know that we have to get feedback from the students' academics. The semester is still going on until I think early February, so we will get more data after February. And I think that we maybe can come up with hybrid learning pedagogy, which is contextual to not just my institution, University Malaya, perhaps also in Asian countries, because the way we conduct our teaching learning could be different culturally from those of the Western countries or developing countries. Okay, and just to tell you this is what's happening in our classroom. So as I mentioned, there's a camera and microphone, sometimes two devices together. Okay, you need to have a speaker and also projector ready. Everything needs to be tested before you run the class. With that, thank you very much, Mr. Chairperson. Get back to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Farah. Uh, so it's now time for Q&A session. So if the participants have questions to ask the speakers, please feel free to type in the chat box or open your microphones to ask. Now I think we have questions in the chat box. So maybe two questions from Jose Marie Carpina and Tao Nguyen.
Um, okay, so from Jose Mari Carpina, is this high flex or bend flex? I'm not so sure. What is your definition of high flex and bend flex?
Sorry, thank you. With regards to high flex and blend flex, the difference is it's the student's choice in blend flex if they're going to attend face to face, and in high flex is the teacher's choice who's going to attend face to face. So in your context, did you go with the student's choice or the teacher's choice? Thank you.
Thank you. It depends on the courses. The lecturers usually will do scheduling. So for if we have many local students with us, so we will take turn. Like this week is going to be group A, next week group B will be attending. Everybody will be online learners. In other courses, like especially course with very limited number of students, small number of students, everybody is in one classroom. Okay, they don't need online at all. So the choice depends on the discussions and agreement between the students and the lecturers. Is that what you are talking about? Band
Yes,
flag?
yes. Um, uh, the latter one you described is a mixture of blend flex and a high flex, but the first one you described is actually kind of a new model. It's a rotation block model. But thank you very much for the clarification.
Thank you. We learn new terms today. Thanks to you. Is there any question in the chat box?
Now I think there is another question from uh, Tao Nguyen.
Ah, okay, this is good question from Mr. Miss. Sorry, I did name Mr. Tao Nguyen about how can teacher observe on-site online groups when they do group work. Okay, there are maybe two ways of doing this. Number one, if we have Zoom or WebEx where we have breakout rooms features, you can group the group into these breakout sessions. And as a teacher, you can visit them. You can come in group one and then go to group two and then ask them to go to breakout. So that's how the Zoom learning can be done. Secondly, if you don't have that features, like myself, I do it sometimes traditionally or manually because some of the students have very bad internet connection. I use WhatsApp communication. So I have the students in my course in WhatsApp. So I already told them that we are going to discuss with the group. So group one will take the communication in the WhatsApp, and they can create their own WhatsApp room, and then another one will have their own WhatsApp room. So I'll give them time, maybe 15 minutes or 20 minutes to talk, and later they will come together for the big online meeting. So I hope that answered your questions. Okay, thank you to those who have shared their insight as well. I have one from Nazil Imran. Is it okay if I read the comment? It says, yeah, teaching physical education in the University of Malaya. It is really challenging for us online teachers using this hybrid learning since we need a lot of interactions. I totally agree with you. Okay, it's not just PE capacity, it's actually all courses, whatever courses you're teaching. When it comes to preparation, I think about 60% of the success depends on the preparation. So, and also the design. So if we design the course well, it will run well as well. Okay, is there any other questions from the audience?
Ma'am Farah.
Good
Yep.
afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yes, this is Jose Marie again. Were you able to measure if there was actually a difference in terms of learning between because this is the problem with blended, hybrid courses, right? The issue of equivalence. Were you able to measure if there were differences between students who attended online and students who attended face to face in terms of learning and engagement?
Good question, Jose. I don't have definite answer. It is just based on observations, I suppose. I think that having it's not it's not easy to give or provide comparable quality of teaching and learning between online or offline, especially due to the technical challenges. Okay, so I think if we design our course assessment correctly, that will show and will be the best measuring stick to know whether there is a difference. So it depends on the course. I think for my course, I will stick to the learning outcomes. As long as my students are able to show that they are learning well, regardless whether they are online or offline students, I will say it works for them. Unless you have a very good idea, let's hear it from you as well. I'm sure you have some experience too.
I still don't have any experience in terms of hybrid learning, but thank you very much, Ms. Farah.
Welcome. Thank you. I guess my session ended here, Mr. Chaparpat. I will give the floor back to you.
Okay, so thank you, thank you, Professor Farah, for your uh, amazing presentations, and I would like to thank you, our speakers. Uh, we are so appreciated that you taking your time to share your experiences with us. So thank you very much. So we arrive.